Now, I'm gonna try and speed through this because it's something I want to do real quick. But this is basically a list of all the upcoming TV shows for 2024 and beyond. And I just wanted to look over this list and see how much of it excited me. Eyes of Wakanda, an animated Disney Plus series. Eye of Wakanda, you know what? It's Black Panther. I don't give a fuck. Daredevil Born Again. Nope, don't give a shit. Captain America Brave New World. Because it has a black man as the star, I'm gonna give it a chance. Also, he's just a good actor in general too, so I mean, there's also that. Thunderbolts, yes, bro. Y'all know I'm excited for Thunderbolts. What? It's like, to me, it's like one of the cooler and Marvel teams that like just deserved it. I wouldn't say deserve, but like that I wanted to see end up in the MCU, but I didn't think was likely to happen for a while until they run out of stuff to talk about basically, and they have to delve into more recent comic books and storylines, and we're finally at that point to where we're catching up to more of the current comics. Fantastic Four, First Steps, yeah right nigga. Ironheart, I definitely, why is this nigga the thumbnail? Spin-off from the Black Panther franchise. Ironheart is one of my favorite like modern comics. She's up there with Kamala Khan. Blade, I don't give a fuck. Avengers Doomsday, I'm gonna watch it because it's an Avengers game, but Oh, I was scared they was about to say WandaVision season 2. Okay, technically this is a separate show. Spin-off from WandaVision as Vision. Later making his MCU return as Ultron. That's all there is to go on for now. That's okay. The original WandaVision series was cool, but like I always say, even when I'm talking about games, not everything needs a sequel. Not everything needs a part 2 and 3 and 4,000 and stuff like that. Like even right now with the Joker movie, a lot of people are calling it ass and they're saying they don't like it, and it's like, yo, you don't need to make a sequel to everything. Some things just need to be one standalone thing, and then you move on to the next thing. A lot of these companies get stuck on trying to spank the monkey basically. Hey yo, pause. Wonder Man, oh god. I hope they don't fuck this character up, because Wonder Man is a very cool, underrated hero. He's very powerful and he's very cool. I don't know who the fuck they got in this picture, but I hope they make it good, bro. I hope they make it good. Avengers Secret Wars. We'll see how Doomsday is before I even talk about Secret Wars. Wakanda TV series. Fuck Black Panther. What If season 3. I still gotta finish season 2. That one I just didn't finish out of laziness. Armor Wars. You know I'm sat for Armor Wars, boy. Cause like one thing I will always say is like the Iron Man movies out of every franchise of MCU movies may have, besides Iron Man 1, aged like a rock, and also are just terrible movies, period. The good thing that MCU did in that time period was definitely fight scenes. Like now they've pretty much drawn back on the fight scenes, and their fight scenes aren't as cool, but some of that is partially because we've already seen it before. But Iron Man to me has some of the better fight scenes in the MCU. I'm excited for this just for the fight scenes. I really don't give a fuck about the plot. The plot of Armor Wars is pretty fucking stupid, and they're probably going to change it to be something even stupider, because MCU movies usually greatly oversimplify plot lines. Hence why I think Civil War is dead ass the worst MCU movie, period. I'll go back and forth for you on that. I'm on this hill, gun to the head, trigger pulled, dying on this fucking hill, getting buried on this hill. I'm immovable. Civil War was fucking terrible. That's the only thing even competing with being that level of ass is Black Panther 1. Shang-Chi 2. I gotta go back and finish 1 because half the movie was in a different language and I couldn't even fucking understand it. And I've heard like there's better versions, allegedly, of that. Spider-Man 4. It's not surprising. Return for his 4th outing. Okay. So, the Spider-Man films are generally good though. X-Men reboot. I think the last X-Men franchise, besides Days of Sleepy Past, I think all of those movies were good. Now there's people who say they haven't aged well, they don't like them, they don't like the comic book inaccuracies. I like those movies for what they are. New Scarlett Johansson project. Please, Scarlett, come back. How you gonna bring back a dead character? Multiverse, shut the fuck up. Nova TV series. Ooh, especially if they use Richard Rider and they make it so that Nova got beef with Spider-Man like he does in the Ultimate Web Wars TV show. I just like that dynamic of Nova and Spider-Man because a lot of funny ass moments come out of it. I'm here for it. But if it's not that version of Nova, it's the OG Nova. That shit out of here. It's not an interesting character. Nigga's a space cop. Fuck police. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man TVA. I was supposed to be a Disney Plus TV series. I don't know, man. Low-key No Way Home was so good of a movie. You know they're gonna make a part 4, but I hope it doesn't turn into a Blade trilogy type situation where it's like the peak of the series was the first and then everything else was them going off the back of the first saying we want money. I need to sit down for this one. Give me a second. Table. Sit. Good table. All right. So if you thought Sony was disrespecting you before, oh man, it gets worse. Sony locks out millions who previously had access to Horizon Zero Dawn from being able to buy it thanks to the remastered's release. If you've previously been able to buy Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, you might want to check again, as you could be among the millions who can no longer do so. So, not only did Sony take the game away from you and delist the game that you already purchased and said, oh, if you want to play that game you already purchased, pay $10 to get a whole nother version of the game that might have changes and take out things that you loved about the game. Not only that, you also might just be locked out of buying it, period. So not only did they take the game away from you, they might have not only took the game away from you, but took away your ability to get the game that you purchased back. I will never stop saying it. People call me all types of stupid for saying I prefer to buy my games physically. If it's a good game, if it's a game I like, I will never not buy it physically. Like, even though Rise of the Ronin, even though I have my problems with that game, I like it and I do not regret paying $60 to get that game physically. It's like, bro, stop buying your games digitally if you give a fuck about them being taken off your hardware. There's more and more articles like this popping up every damn day talking about how you could buy a game and companies would just give you that shit, that game off your hardware. So look, listen, if you're buying a game and you like that game, I don't care if it's harder to deal with, if it's harder to get and becomes increasingly more difficult, buy that bitch physically. Because once you buy the disc, they're not gonna break down your door and take the disc out your crib. And even if that was the method they wanted to go by, it's not working, nigga. You're not kicking down my door. This article is pretty much probably all in the headline, but we'll skim through the article. Anyone who wants to play Horizon Zero Dawn on PC now must pre-purchase Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, assuming they do not already own the 2020 release. Among a few enhancements, such as re-recorded dialogue and updated animations. Wow. Quality. The sticking point here is the remaster's requirement of a PSN account. PSN is a service only officially available in over 170 countries. This is the list of countries that recently couldn't purchase God of War Ragnarok. We're not gonna look at that, so let's look this up. How many? Oh wait, hold up, 1 second. Ooh, countries are there in the world oh wait, actually not in the world. What is it? NATO? Damn, I'm forgetting which one is. Oh, UN, United Nations. How many countries in the UN? 193. Okay, that's nah, it's higher than that. They're in the world that people nope, not this right now. Why the bass sound different? Live in. Oh, so it is 195. Okay, cool. So there's 195 countries. Oh wait, that's some other funny ass Sony L. There's 195 countries in the world, and this game is. Oh wait. Oh, my dumbass didn't read properly. It's unavailable for purchase in over 170 countries. Hold on. So let's do some quick maths. 170 copy 170 minus 195 equals 25. So there are 195 countries in the world, and you can only buy PlayStation games in 25 countries, because those are the countries that PSN is available in. I don't understand why the fuck Sony is. I don't understand why Sony is so willing to cut off their money to boost their PSN numbers. I really don't get it. Like, you boosting PSN numbers doesn't like who the fuck does that make happy? Investors are happy by the money. You're cutting off money to up some fucking PSN. Oh yeah, by the way, fuck this video player. You're boosting your website's money number, I mean PSN numbers for money, but it's like, yo bro, you make money from games and investors. If I was an investor in Sony, this shit wouldn't make me happy. What the fuck is going on? Preventing people from being able to spend over affects players in regions that PlayStation is a dominant console. Large parts of the Middle East, for example, are, and always have been, PlayStation aligned, and this popularity is a major reason why Sony's console brand continues to have staying power outside of the US and Europe. What about Japan? PSN accounts have never been available in those places either. Just people just created US, UK, Japan accounts, brought prepaid cards for online purchases, or simply stuck to physical games. You hear that? So people love your console. People want to buy your games. But because they need a PSN account, they basically have to lie to get your damn games. Why would you want people who could reasonably use your product want to lie to get your product? Like, we're not talking in a case of, like, let's say alcohol, beer, cigarettes. We're not talking about something like that. We're talking about a fucking video game, bro. A fucking video game. Like, imagine if you had to lie and say that you had 2 feet to buy a pack of Gushers because they suspect that, I don't know, let's say everybody that had their foot cut off probably has diabetes and isn't from the local area, Brooklyn. You would be sitting there, first off, like, what the fuck does having diabetes have to do with being from Brooklyn? What the fuck does having your leg cut off have to do with being from Brooklyn? Number one. Number two, it's like, bro, you're a store. Your main goal is to make money by providing products that I, a customer, a consumer, would want. And I want to buy from your store. I want to support your store. I want to get products from your store, but you're gatekeeping me out of them. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get that. I don't get that. Who does this benefit? Like, yeah, you're boosting your PSN numbers by doing this, but it's like, bro, at what cost? Like, the majority of people who play games, like, understand I'm not trying to be insulting when I say this. I'm just presenting facts. The majority of people who have technology don't know how to use technology. You tell people the thing I came up with last time I said this, most people, if you tell them to forget a Bluetooth device, they're gonna tell you, what the fuck does that mean? I already know about the device. What the hell you mean forget it? They don't know that I'm saying go in their settings and click the button that literally says forget device, so it completely disconnects it from their phone and deletes the data of it ever being connected from their phone. Most people have technology and use technology every day, and most of what they use it for is titties and talking to friends. It is what it is. Most people don't know how to use the phone. They have $1,000 computer in their pocket that they have no idea how it works. They have absolutely no idea how this $1,000 computer works. Let's go back to this though. It goes without saying that locking millions, plural, of players out of those games does the opposite of expanding the PlayStation audience. That's another reason why I don't get this. You're alienating your audience because, like I said, some people don't know how to use technology, so they're not going to think to create an account and just make it from the US. They're not going to think that, and they're not going to have someone around them who thought that to tell them that. They're just going to not play the game. Or like they said, they're going to stick to physical single player games, which also goes back to the live service thing. I love how topics go. So if you haven't seen the last video or you weren't here earlier in the stream, basically Sony has this addiction with trying to make, like, not just Sony, a lot of these companies have this addiction with trying to make every game a live service game. Basically, every time a game is being made, they're looking at it, they're smiling, nodding their head, and they're holding a gun to their developer's head saying, make it a Fortnite. A lot of these games can't be a Fortnite. It can't be a live service game that generate infinite money. A lot of these games aren't even good enough for that to be in the conversation. Also, Fortnite had years to build up to be what it is. But let's say even you do let it build up to be what it is. That don't mean you're gonna get there. There's plenty of games that did the same things that Fortnite has done and don't have Fortnite success because when you try to measure up to somebody else, comparison is the killer of joy. Let me just say it like that. Comparison is the killer of joy. Y'all want to have, in this case, joy is trying to make money and you're not doing that. When you getting compared to somebody else relentlessly and viciously like this, you're not gonna have a joyful good time. It genuinely is mind-boggling why. That's what I was saying. When you alienate people in your audience, you make it harder, not only harder for people to interact with your stuff, but you make it harder for people to deal with your stuff because they start not to give a fuck because they feel disrespected. And it's also the main point of what I wanted to say goes back into that stat of why single player games right now, why most people prefer single player games. Because a single player game, I don't have to be connected to the internet. I don't have to worry about if this game makes a company money to buy it, play it, and enjoy it. A game could come out, be straight dog shit compared to like how much money a Fortnite makes, and I could still buy it and play it. Why? Because the game doesn't have to make the company $1 billion for me to go buy the physical version. Once it's in the store and on the shelf, as long as I go in the store and buy it before they take it off the shelf, take it out back, crack it over their knee and throw it in the dumpster, I'm good. It genuinely oh, that's the end of the paragraph. But yeah, I don't get it. I really want to know how the hell does Sony benefit from this? And also another effect, also something that I talked about in my video about why this whole making a live service, try to make everything a live service game ain't gonna work, is a lot of these games people just don't want to play it, especially if it feels like another game. Recently, Foam Stars went free to play. Let me zoom in for you. Let me make the text nice and big so you can read that. Foam Stars official free to play trailer. Usually, live service games only go free to play go from a price tag to free to play when they have no fucking body playing it. The player count has dipped so incredibly low. They throw out a last ditch effort to try and get anybody on the game, to try and hook anybody in. Usually, it doesn't work. And if we look at the views of this trailer for a game that's a first party Sony game that was pushed as hard as it was, 1,000 views in 7 hours. It's not good, man. It's not good. Usually, I don't look at views as a metric unless there's an overwhelmingly obvious thing to cite. It's not good, man. Let's see if this will make me hop back on Foam Stars. Also, what happens if I was one of the unfortunate poor saps that did actually buy this game? What happens to me? Is it just fuck you to me? Or is it just a bunch of in-game skins and shit like that for free that are probably going to be for characters that I don't use? That's probably going to be the wackest alt that nobody, even people who are willing to pay for character skins, even want to buy. God damn. Bubble pop loud as hell. Also available to non-PlayStation Plus subscribers. So starting October 3rd, this will be free to play. 4v Splatoon. Everybody wanted to get wet. Everybody, you're too stupid to buy a Switch and play Splatoon, or you didn't give a flying fuck about Splatoon before, and now because you're using phone and playing it on PlayStation, you now suddenly give a fuck, but you just weren't willing to pay $40 for it. Don't worry, niggas who weren't gonna play the game in the first fucking place. You can now play this game that you don't want to play at all anyway for free. And 4 exciting game modes that you don't care about because you weren't going to play this game in the first place. And if you do even give this game a chance, you're going to play it for a week, then you're never going to touch it again. On 14 unique maps. Wow. Just amazing. Customize your foam stars in ways that people never gave a fuck about. Wow. Beginner friendly. Simple, easy ass games, which these games are beginner friendly. Play with friends. Wow. Wow. You and your friends want to not play this game? Don't worry. You and your friends could not play this game together, just like you're not going to actually play the game. Wow. Also available if you're not a PlayStation Plus subscriber. And it's a PlayStation exclusive. This bullshit ain't coming to PC. You don't have to worry. Wow. What an amazing thing. If I had my clap it up button, I would clap it up right now. I would clap it up. Wow, this is Sony's greatest accomplishment, man. Sony's greatest accomplishment, man. Gotta not give the video a thumbs up. Cause wow. Wow, this was such a fucking great idea. Wow. Now before we get into this list, I already see some fuckery. Bloons is woke and DEI. Before we get into this list, I'ma make it quick.